out published August.
Okay.
August 31st.
And inside of these pages of this book, Brian, are the keys to our happiness.
Okay.
For me, becoming a millionaire is my happiness.
I like that. That's how I did it. Yeah.
So I understand that you had a corporate background at first, and that made you decide to maybe move forward and go into your own business.
You bet. I've had the corporate background, worked a long time at many Fortune 500 companies that most people know, Compaq, Hewlett Packard, etc. As a tech guy, actually, as an engineer by trade, and then moved into the financial services industry just about 8 years ago, working for DST Systems downtown in Kansas City, Missouri. And that really exposed me to a lot of the situations that are going on with a lot of people. I've had about 100 million accounts under my purview. And most of those accounts had about $5,000 to $10,000 in their account for retirement. And and I know it takes a lot more money than that to be able to retire on. And so that, coupled with just my family background, grew up in a very poor area, Dayton, Ohio, a long time ago. Many of my family members are still struggling, just like you'd expect. And so I decided to write a book to try to help not just myself, but help a lot of people start to figure out how to make more wealth, and hopefully we create more millionaires in light of that. Yeah.
So take us through how we can do that. I mean, how can we go from being, poor to rich? There's no other way to put it, Brian.
Yeah. A great question. It's not rocket science. So I call it tried and true practices that most people do that get rich, that you walk around and you never know. It first starts with the mindset change. You got to realize that you're accountable for your future. There is no more pensions. Can't wait for the government to come save you. Your city governors aren't going to save you. Your life is yours. Just like you want to eat every day, you want to eat when you get older. You got to take responsibility for your outcomes. And really, it starts there. And that's how I started. I was 20-some years old, and I told my mother, you know what, I'm going to be a millionaire. I'm going to retire when I'm 40. I didn't retire when I'm 40, but I'm a millionaire, multimillionaire actually. And so I got there, it's just not in the time frame. So it starts there. Then it starts by just taking a little bit of change. Instead of spending your money as a consumer, invest your money as a owner. And so you and I talked earlier about, people go to the bank and they get a credit line and they spend that credit line for cars, clothes, whatever it might be. People that get wealthy take that credit line and buy something that's going to appreciate. They buy a property and they sell that property. They buy a property and they rent that property. They buy things that actually appreciate, not gold chains. They don't appreciate. They buy something that appreciates. So it starts with your mindset, and then doing smart things like taking just a little. If you take $15 a week, if you're in your 20s, and you invest that in a mutual fund or in something that appreciates 6 or 7%, you'll be a millionaire by the time you're 45 or 50. It's that simple.
$15 a week.
$15 a week, $60 a month.